and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Change of location. We're on location at the gnome's house, at my house. I was just like, I had so much going on today. I'm like, can we record at my house today? So here we are in my sunny dining room, which I love. It was this room that made me buy this house. So anyway, we're back. We hope you had a good Valentine's Day. And gosh, halfway through February, which is shorter because it's a leap year, so
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't have Monday off, which is very sad.
Oh, President's Day.
Yeah, we don't have President's Day off. No fair. But anyway, who's going first?
Me.
All right, Beth's going first.
Hold on a second. I gotta put my thread.
Always with the thread. I have so much junk here. I've got so much to talk about.
Just want to put this in the back so it's not messing up the front. I'm working on, put this fabric back here so it's watch the sun a little bit. My cross-stitch camp, winter cross-stitch camp piece, Mouse's Christmas decorating by Tiny Modernist, and I'm almost finished. I have a couple of little snowflakes right here above the mouse. Excuse me. And then another color that goes like all the little glinty specks on the berries, and then the other color for the scarf and things like that, and the cheeks for the mouse, and the snowman is all one color. So I'm almost done, and it's a good thing because I've been neglecting my WIP-GO patterns just because I was having fun working on this mouse.
The really dangerous thing is Tiny Modernist came out with 2 more.
Yes. Yeah, he was telling me about, somebody had mentioned, I guess,
She did a trunk show on Fat Quarter Shop.
Oh, I
She was showing all of like the newer patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. My straw had a split in it. I had to turn it upside down.
I was looking at the copyright on this Mouse's Christmas decorating, and it's 2020. So I had just become aware of it. Yeah, I had just become aware of it. I think at the Jingle Ball, but yeah, there's several there. So
She said there's 10 or 11.
Oh no! Don't say that to Beth.
Oh. But so I did do about.
I can't say anything as there's 2 giant cones of yarn sitting in front of me.
And I sent her a picture of these 2 little bunnies that she has. It's a bunny pattern, and then
They're shaped like you cut them out.
Back stitch around it, and then you make these 2 little bunny pillows.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cute.
Yeah. All the Nashville patterns are coming out now, and a couple of them, like Lindy Stitches, is doing several Flosstube things of new releases, and so she's like, just mark your favorites, and then and I was like, oh no, I think I watched the first video she did, and I was like, I keep putting them off, going, I don't want to fall in love with anything. But then also there's like Facebook posts and things like that of all the new patterns. So I'm like looking through them, saying there's nothing in here that I need right now that I'm absolutely in love with yet. So anyway, yeah.
I feel, yeah.
So one of my WIP-GO calls for this month is the beaver. It's one of the You're in the Woods patterns from Cottage Garden Samplings. And I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the hoop so that you can see it in all its glory. I'm not nearly finished with it or anything like that, but I did finish the tree trunk, the tree and branches. I didn't do any of the leaves, but I did the whole.
Here, use my book behind this.
Yeah, because
I got lots of light here.
Yeah. Let me put it this way.
Plus, we'll put a photo as usual.
Yeah. But so I finished the tree all the way down to the bottom. So that's the bottom of the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the all but one color's missing for the cabin, but otherwise the cabin there is done. And and then I actually started on the beaver himself. I have his eye, and I had to take out the black part of his ear because as I was filling in, I realized it was off by, I don't know what, like I think two here we go, 2 squares. I had put them in earlier when I was just like doing the darker color by itself, and I thought I had counted right, but then when I was filling in this, there's a brown color, you know, on his head, you know, and I realized that's not enough, you know, because it goes up to a certain point, and then there's another color around that darker ear, and I was like, I was counting stitches, and I was like, it's right up against it. That's not right. And so I was looking at everything, you know, my counting of everything, and I realized it was the inside of the ear that was in the wrong place. So I had actually carried the thread between the 3 locations of the eye and the ear and the nose and the eye and the ear. And so I just snipped the thread for the ear and redid it. No, I don't know what anyway, it was like I was barely squeaking it in. But yeah. So I have 3 more days of this beaver to hit my WIP-GO goal. So, and I was looking at my calendar going, I need to get cracking because like I have my other WIP-GO thing to do and all that. So, and the reason I'm a little behind from where I planned it to be is I've been working on the owl trio by Dimensions. This is the Dimensions kit. The designer is Jennifer Nilsson, and I got a lot of the border done.
So cute.
Yeah, there's still like one outer line on the border, but I doing this, I have the sort of way of doing it, pattern worked out, and so I'll go all the way around and then do the single line around the outside of the border, and it'll be finished, except for the white. It has a white thing, and then there's backstitching and French knots, and so it looks like it's, oh, look at that, it's almost done. No, it's not. There's a lot of backstitching to do. I was looking at the pattern going, there's a lot.
Let me see.
Because
all the feathers.
Yeah, all the feathers, all the all around
wings.
the eyes and around the owls and around the branches and blah blah, and the feet and
the leaves and everything.
Yeah, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of backstitching. So it's gonna be an ongoing project.
It's so super cute though.
Yeah, it's a lot cuter
It's adorable.
Than I sort of I thought, yeah, it's kind of cute, yeah, but then as I stitch it, it's like, yeah,
It's
really
adorable.
Cute. Yeah. And then speaking of ongoing projects, I sort of I had this set off to one side, and I said, you know what, I haven't worked on this in a while. This is my Black Cat season, Lindy Stitch's Black Cat season. Bell pull is what it was designed as, and so this is number 4 out of 6, and so I just did a little bit more. We can put this behind it. On the word beware, I'm not quite done, but I just finished. I think just finished off the length of thread I had, whatever. So the rest of the E still has to go in there, and then there's another color that sort of outlines those letters, whatever. But so just the very beginning of the number 4 pattern. I haven't made any real progress on it. Besides that, I think I had like 3 letters or no. No, I guess I just finished working on the R and a little bit of E, just to put some stitches in it. But I think that's me.
Shall I go next?
Sure.
So, let me put a thread like that says. I just don't want the needle in front.
Yeah.
So, sorry, my needle minder, I put the needle minder on the very bottom because it adds weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sorry, it's
Cracking.
So, I finished Winterful Friends. I forgot to bring the
The pattern picture.
yeah, but there's a picture of it.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Oh,
So this is not like the pattern.
it looks
because-
so good. Let me see.
Because I was making a lot of mistakes with placement
Oh,
of
it
the
looks
white.
so good.
It looks good. Yeah, you
And-
can really see.
And I just love the way it came out.
With the half stitches in blue.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
And I think that if I had made them full stitches, it might have looked a little bit, I don't know,
No,
That's
this
the
is
word I want.
perfect. It would have been too much.
too full.
Yeah.
And it gives them a nice sky color.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because the fabric I
beautiful.
chose was just really too light.
And you enjoyed it. You went lickety split and finished it.
As soon as I started doing that, I was like, okay, yeah, I like this now, and I'll finish it. Because
Yeah.
I kept finding mistakes, and I was like, well, I could fudge this, and I could fudge that. But part of me was like, maybe I should just start over.
Oh, no, this is.
And then I started doing this, and I was like, okay, I don't have to start over. This is fine. I can figure this out. As a matter of fact, there's an extra line over here of blue because
It's fair.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's not going to work out. So I had to add something, but it doesn't matter because I like it.
Nice.
So since I have a finish, I gave myself permission to have a new start. This is Fresh Lemonade
Oh, yeah.
by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I bought this last year to go along with my lemon cat.
When you were on the lemon, you were like on the lemon craze.
Yeah, well, I like lemons, but I didn't want my lemon cat to be lonely, so I didn't want a huge pattern. Lemon cat was free from, I believe, Cute Matte Patterns by Maria. Anything that I have that's like super cute, it's
It's
probably
hers.
her. And I saw this, and it's, you know, it's subtle, it's little, it shouldn't take me too long to do, and I like the way they finished it with the pillow.
Mhm.
I'm not sure I like the 25 cents. The 25, they have the instructions for stitching the 25 cents,
Aw.
but
That's cute though.
mhm. I don't think I would display it next to a whole bunch of lemons, though. Mom, when we were growing up, my mom had a bowl on the table that had fake fruit in it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Uh-huh. I remember. I love pulling the grapes off of the
Yeah.
plastic stalk of grapes, the
Yeah.
squishy grapes. You want
Yeah.
true confessions? I like to bite them now because they were like if you bit them, they would stick together a little bit. Anyway,
So if I were
that's what I did
to,
as a kid.
if I were
bit
in the
fake
habit
grapes.
of, if I were in the habit of using lemons often enough,
like you have them
often
in your
enough.
kitchen.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a really cute display in the kitchen.
The pins. Do you have the pins?
No, but I want to buy them.
There's a lime and a lemon pin. Oh, that's so cute. I
wonder
can
if-
see a little sign, like a chalkboard like a chalkboard sign with that on there with the 25 cents and a little rope to like you would hang it out on your. That's what I see. That's what I envision.
Anyway, so here's my tiny little start. You know when I started this? Well, I was waiting for Beth to get ready to come.
Here today?
Yes. I said, well, rather than
Get mad.
yelling at Beth because she's not ready to go, because it wasn't like we had to be here at any particular time.
Right.
So rather than getting, agitated because I wasn't leaving when I wanted to leave, we actually did. But I just said,
What magnificent
start
coping skills.
it's like,
I'm so proud of your growth.
you have to understand that I have spent my life
Stop.
waiting on people, not just Beth. Anyway, so for my cross stitch camp piece, I was doing Christmas Berry by Erica Michaels.
So cute.
And now, if you caught that, I said was.
Or did you change your mind?
I don't know. I like. So.
You like the moose?
Yes, I know. So here's where I am so far. Which isn't like a horrible lot, but it's a lot, right? So while I was starting to put in the ears, I realized.
Oh yeah, he really is.
What?
What you were talking about earlier.
You started
about
putting
about
the
the color.
The colors are very close to each other. It's hard to see, but that doesn't bother me as much because you can kind of see it, and you look at the berries close up. So that doesn't bother me as much as the fact that I made a lot of mistakes in the placement of the antlers. I would have to frog quite a bit. So I said, okay, I can just frog the little tiny pieces of the antler in here and get them, like, move them a little bit and get them kind of sort of right. And I'm going to put those little pieces in. And after I do that, I'm going to decide on whether or not I need to throw this away and start again. So after I realized what kind of issues I was having, I thought, I need to think about what I want to do before I put any more time and thread into this. That being said, as I said, I fudged it. What's happened is the antlers are a couple, not just one stitch, a couple of stitches too far apart. And also one stitch too high.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I kind of sort of fixed it in the middle. It's his little cranium is going to be just a little bit too wide. But the problem with it is that in the pattern, you can't see it on this pattern. I wish that on the back it had
it flat.
The full picture.
All of it flat.
Yeah, all of those berries have that same problem because you're like, is this right?
It has.
Does it matter?
You can't see. You can't see. There's a white line right here, and this kind of wiggles and goes down, and it touches the edge of where you're supposed to cut it. And there's a similar thing with the moose, and on this other side. So that when you sew it together, they meet, right? Kind of. It's not like supposed to be symmetrical, but that's the way it works, right? Since it's too wide, how much of a problem is that going to be? So that's not the right.
Right.
That's not the
No,
right
I figured
pattern.
that out. I figured that out.
The pattern is at home.
Oh.
So that's the other pattern for the little one.
I see.
So I need to look carefully at the pattern and say, am I going to be able to work with this? Because if I'm not, there's no point. I need to start again. But I think it'll work. I just put a few less white stitches over here, and also there's quite a bit of empty space here, and I could just have just a little bit of empty space. So I think it'll be okay.
But it needs to go in timeout for a minute.
It went in timeout most of the week.
Mm.
Okay, so about the antlers being so close in color, this color right here for the star on top of the trees, if you look at this picture, that color is really yellow, right? You can't see the star on top of the trees in this big one.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not sure it's the same color because
Oh.
there's a different color list for this one. But
Interesting.
I imagined it being a lighter yellow by the name of the fancy floss.
Mm.
Part of me is like, God, I wish I could just go and buy all the fancy floss, but I just don't want to spend the money. So I'm looking at this color and going,
Oh yeah, it's kind of.
it's called, Grecian gold was the fancy floss color.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of gold.
I had that.
It's kind of gold,
You have that?
But what I thought when looking at it, because like I said, the DMC alternative that they gave you for the antlers looks absolutely nothing like the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought, if I did half stitches over the antlers,
Mm-hmm.
it would kind of lighten them up,
Mm-hmm.
and that might be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm having so many problems with this though that I'm losing the fun, and
Mm-hmm.
and the whole point in all of this is
Fun.
that it be fun,
Right.
And if it starts getting to be where it feels like work,
A chore and a pain.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
If
not.
I want to have work, I'll go get a job.
Yeah, there was some post, I think on Facebook or something, on the WIP-GO, like a WIP-GO group or something, and this person was saying, I'm failing at WIP-GO.
I saw that.
Yeah, and so a lot of people were saying, just like it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a chore.
If you don't meet your goal, what's going to happen?
Yeah, like somebody
That's it,
said,
the
there's no such thing as a cross-hatch police. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was making. I saw something. I didn't read the comments, but I saw it's making me really unhappy, and I'm like, then throw it in the trash.
yeah, don't
It's-
do it.
Don't do WIP-GO.
Yeah, it's very hard when you have a self-imposed. Yeah. Well, I mean, but Beth doesn't get upset about her self-imposed things.
No, she just fights through it and stays up all night working on something
Right.
to
But
do
I mean,
I
it's,
didn't
But that's her choice.
motivation, right?
That's her
exactly.
choice.
But it's not making her feel bad.
But no, she doesn't get
I mean,
all.
if it's a self-imposed deadline or a self-imposed rules that nobody else cares about, like literally no one else in the world cares about that woman's.
Angst.
Well,
I mean, her WIP-GO chart. Like
Yeah,
literally,
right.
you can throw it away and write a new one.
so
Yeah.
our friend Vicky posted on Facebook, I think, that she was hoping to find other stitchers that she could stitch with where she was,
Uh-huh.
which is fantastic. I hope you found somebody. But one of the things she said is, I'm a really slow stitcher. Unless this is your job, usually you are. You know why? Because you gotta
have
go
other
make
things to do.
you gotta go make dinner. You got and her work is beautiful. She sent me a couple of pictures.
Oh, nice.
Her work is absolutely beautiful, and so it doesn't matter how long you take.
Mm-hmm.
If you take from now until you pass away,
Yeah,
When
working
it
on
brings
something,
you joy.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's just something that you're doing as a
As a hobby.
It's a
hobby.
way to keep your mind and fingers active and play with things that bring you
And
joy.
if you make something out of it, that's something you can have in your household or whatever, that still doesn't make it a job.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I will move on. So I did a little bit more work on hands-on design strawberry, the berry basket. And I basically got all of the top row of strawberries done. Now, is that a lot? No, but I was missing 2 strawberries before, so I did some. You know? So next I finish this green row here. This color, see, that's the problem with these photographs. One, they probably take them in a light box or some controlled light environment if you're at this level, right? 2, once they get printed, that changes too. So I look at this, and hers are charted in DMC. Okay, not all of her patterns, but this particular one. So this should be exactly the same color, and I look at it and go, that is not the same color. The light green, because the light green on here is really bright.
Yeah.
Right?
Very neon-y. Yeah.
It doesn't look anything like it. And at some point you have to go, so what? Because I like this pattern and I like the way that looked on that, but I didn't want to go get the same linen. So it's not going to look the same.
Right.
And as long as the finished product is something that I like, it doesn't matter. So there I am on my soapbox again. Okay, so lastly,
Get down from there, E.
no, not lastly. What?
Get down from there.
Not lastly, because I have what I'm working on. By the way, that finish of mine was one of my WIP-GO calls for this month, and the goal wasn't finished. The goal was 10 days. It actually worked on it longer than 10 days. But it's done and I love it. Okay, so temperature turtles. I tell you, Phoenix is on a wild ride this year so far. So, right now it is, you notice we're all in, well, she's wearing a sweater because she's been inside. But
it's
it's
nice
beautiful out.
Yeah.
The people riding their bikes, it looks great. It's great. The weather outside is fantastic.
Yeah, when we were getting ready to come over here, we were talking about, do we need to bring a jacket? What's the temperature outside? I'm like, I was already hot because I had just gotten out of the shower. I'm like, I am wearing a jacket. I'm not dealing with that.
It was
And
beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
It's supposed to be up to 75 degrees today.
Wow.
Okay.
I believe it.
And it was 40 something the other day.
So
Crazy.
crazy.
Well, that wasn't the high, but
Yeah.
anyway, so here we are. I'm partway through this turtle. Now, I haven't finished it's not really back stitching, it's more like long stitches here. I haven't finished that, and I haven't put his appendages on this one, because yesterday,
Because it's crippled.
Poor turtle.
yesterday I was working on that. I'm like, I'm gonna finish. I gotta finish. This is so close. This is so close. And then I went, it's Friday. I need to work on my turtle.
Oh.
And so I finished this part at, I don't know, 12:50, 11:50. And I was like, okay, now I could take out that other color and go ahead and do that. But I'm going to bed.
Smarter than me.
So, but look at his colors. It's gold, and then it's
Yeah.
warm. It's gold, and then it's warm.
I like that color scheme so much better.
Oh
Good
yeah,
job.
I'm so glad that I looked at it and changed it.
Very
I
nice.
think I just knocked the needle out. I felt it in my hand. There it is on the floor. I'll get it in a sec. Okay, so as long as the cat doesn't come in here and eat it. So that is my temperature turtles. And right now I am working on, and you're going to have to see a picture of it here because have I printed one? No. Rabbits, Carrots, and Eggs
Oh, yeah.
by Stitchy Princess. And it's the picture, the eggs are white, and
And you said that's boring.
and it's on like a light brown fabric. I was like, that's not Easter, not to me. So I'm changing the colors of the eggs to bright Eastery colors, and I may or may not change the colors of the rabbits from white to a different color. Although a white Easter rabbit doesn't bother me. So we'll see. But again, my fabric choice, I'm not sure a white Easter rabbit would show up. I tend to choose the wrong fabric for my projects.
It's a trait. It's a trait.
And so I changed so many colors. I'm like, did I change the colors on the carrots? Because I haven't worked on it in so long. I don't know. And so I'm holding up threads that are right there that I have for this. And I'm like, is that the same color? I think so. So that's what I'm working on right now. Since I changed the colors of the eggs, the eggs are not solid. They have patterns in them. And I noticed after I stitched the eggs in these different colors that the patterns did not show up. So I went ahead and put white inside the hole because it wasn't supposed to be stitched in there. And I went ahead.
Great.
I went ahead and stitched white.
So the yellow one doesn't have the white. You can tell the difference.
Well, it's getting white.
I know, but I'm saying that's what they would have looked like.
And see, it doesn't show up very well.
Right.
So I'm doing that.
Did you say that was one of your WIP-GO things?
Yeah, I have plenty of time.
It looks nice and colorful that way, though. You know.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one more egg to do. I think I have one more egg to do. Pretty sure. And then another carrot and some rabbits. And then there's a bottom part that I may or may not do. That's me.
That's you?
Uh-huh.
All right. Let me get this to place. So I am still, of course, working on Hannah's graduation cardigan. I'll show to you in the original colors, which is not the colors I'm doing. There's the pattern. It's called Genevieve's graduation cardigan, and I am doing it in. That's like a dark green on the trim, and this is a dark, very, very dark brown and a cream. It looks white here, but if you actually look at the ball of yarn, it's very cream colored. And then the parts that are red and gold, if you remember, are going to be brown and brown, and brown, brown, and brown, brown, brown. Let me turn off my iPad so it doesn't die. So this, you can see, this is very cream colored. This is the trim that I'm working on right now. And then the upper parts will be this bison and camel color. I think it's going to be gorgeous. I can't wait to get up to that part, but right now
I think the
stuck in
colors
the
you
black and white.
chose are very pretty.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun and very nice. I have a lot to go. I have far to go. Now I am getting hot. I'm going to take this off. I have far to go, and it's going slowly because I have just not had a lot of time at night to knit, and when I sit down to knit, I sleep knit, and so it's going slow. I finished, the swirls at the bottom, and I'm starting this little flower motif. I think there's a picture here of it. Yeah, I'm starting on this flower motif right here, and like probably halfway through. I'm just excited because I'm like, if I get here, then I get to change colors into into the bison and the camel, and then I have another section of swirlies, and then I get into this part, which I don't know why I think it'll be fun. It'll just be the same difficult.
But you'll know you're made progress.
Right. So, yeah. So anyway, that's coming along, and I decided. So I had been taking my whole, this bag and my iPad to work and trying to get a few stitches done at once, and I'm like, that's stupid. So I decided not to do that anymore. And I decided that's why I started the Musselburgh hat, and so I decided to start taking that with me. Plus it fits in my work backpack better, I don't have to have a separate bag, but a little bit, I
Excuse me.
haven't had as much progress on it. So. But I figured, hopefully, I don't know why I think, no, everything's going to, I don't know why I think that. Now things will be better. Anyway, I have been working on my Musselburgh hat. Here's how far it is, the length. It's supposed to be 19 inches total, so. But what I decided to do was, wow, this makes a great yarn bag. So I just put the yarn inside the hat and just knit it like that. So it's nice at work because I can just pull this out like this. Obviously, when I get to the end and I have to do the decreases, I'll take it out. But I figured, oh, that makes a nice little yarn bag. So this is my work knitting because I just can sit and talk to friends and just boop, boop, boop. So that's fun. Okay, so there's giant yarn cones sitting in front of me. So I've been making some socks. I made Robert's 2 socks. Did I show those?
I think you.
Here's a picture of them. I have a picture that I sent him, so I'll put it here. I haven't actually given them to him yet. Now I'm trying to remember exactly where they are. I think I know where they are. They're with my circular sock machine. I had it out here on the counter. I'm gonna buy I'm looking on Amazon for an actual like portable table where I can put. Right now I have like a rolling basket thing, but it doesn't stay together. Like if I accidentally try to get over a door jam, I lift it, it falls apart. So anyway, I'm probably gonna use that for storage. But I found a couple of carts on Amazon where you can, it has shelving and it's adjustable height, which I like. One of them has like a plug thing where you can plug it in and then there's power in the table itself. It's not adjustable though, but I thought that'd be nice because I have a light, one of those circle lights that clips onto the top, and I really need that when I'm using it. And it's rechargeable, but it doesn't hold it. So I actually just leave it plugged in the whole time. So it would be nice to have the power on there, and then I could sit somewhere and plug it into the wall or whatever, plug it into our jackery. And anyway, so I made Robert's socks, and I still have to make my brother's girlfriend her pair for Christmas. It's February, so don't talk to me about it. And then no comment. And then my daughter's string quartet have all requested socks. So one of them said that he would like teals and blues, and I happen to have this in my stash. Now it's thicker yarn, kind of like yours. I think it should be fine. And then one of them wanted pinks, and I had this in my stash. And she approved it. So I mean, yeah, it has some blues and yellows in it, but Hannah thinks it'll be okay. So and then one of them is allergic to wool, so I have to go to, and I talked to the manager of Tempe Yarn and Fiber, and I said, what do I do for socks? And she said, Kobasi yarn is a great alternative because she is also allergic to wool. And it's cotton, bamboo, and silk. It has nylon in it as well. And she says that'll do socks well. So I have to go. Actually, I was planning to go there today. I haven't had a minute, but I'm planning to go there today if I can. And she wants like autumn colors, like mustardy, fallish colors. So I'm going to go and try to find that. But the reason these cones of yarn are here is because one of the things you have to do on a circular sock machine is start everything with waste yarn. And I had purchased some, Joann's, what the heck? They no longer carry sock yarn. They have a couple of little, this is like where I got these a million years ago. They have a couple of little ones sitting around of this Peyton's Croy. But I bought, when I first started with this sock machine, I didn't want to invest in one of these, and I just bought this brand in white. And so I used it for my waste yarn. Now, they say in the videos you can reuse waste yarn, but the problem, especially with this, is it's a loose twist, and if it gets snagged or anything, it's not worth it to me. I just throw it away. So I went trying to find some more, and they didn't have them. And you know, I didn't want to go to Tempe Yarn and Fiber and buy expensive yarn to use as waist yarn. So I don't know if you remember when I made Hannah those yellow socks. And the thing is, you need something high contrast, and you need something like contrasting like all the other sock yarns you might use, right? So the only ones at Joann's they had were black, and I'm like, I would die if I used black yarn because it would just be impossible to see. And so I had extra of Hannah's yellow. For whatever reason, when I bought that yellow and red that I made her socks from, there was a lot left over, even though I made her regular length socks. So I wound that onto a cone, and I've been using that for my waist yarn, which is expensive waist yarn. But I was like, well, it'll get me through Christmas. And so it's coming to an end. And so I finally, CSM Supplies, I think it is, Circular Sock Machine Supplies, has big cones. This is I think it's 4 pounds, and this is it's acrylic. So I wouldn't make a sock out of this, but so this is just a giant cone of fingering weight waist yarn. And now I realize the color I chose has lime green in it because I thought, well, lime green will contrast almost everything, right? But this, I realized this has, so I bought this. This is good quality sock yarn because I didn't want this to get lonely in the mail. And, but I realized it has whole section. I didn't even realize it. It has whole sections of lime green. So if I ever have to tell the difference between this, and it's a lime green section, it will be difficult, but it's okay. Anyway, I got this yarn. This is the active, it's 400 grams, which will make, this will make 4 pairs of socks. So 8 socks total, but regular length. And it could be more if I make shorty socks. I'm in love with, I just realized this end is coming off here. I'm in love with the shorty socks I made for myself. Anyway, so I have this. This is really pretty. This is called, what's the color called? I don't remember. I don't remember the color. It's not printed on here. Anyway, so on the website, it shows you them knitted up, and it's like a it almost looks like color work. You know, it's computerized coloring so that it comes out like there's stripes and then there's pattern and the stripes and patterns. So I thought it was nice. So that is that. I talked about a while ago about deciding to do the knit swirl jacket sweater, and I thought about, do I want to buy the yarn? You know, obviously I have to finish Hannah's cardigan before I can start that. Blah 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 blah. And then I realized as I was looking in my box, I'm like, I have so, and my original when I started. Oh, I'll show you the knit swirl jacket. Because you know what I'm talking about. It's that, I talked about it at length a couple of weeks ago. It's a jacket that, I mean, it's a cardigan sweater that is knit in the round, in like from the outside. So you cast on 400 stitches or whatever, 500 stitches, and you go around and you knit to the center. And so it's got like a kind of a flowy shape to it. It's really cool. And it takes a million yards of yarn. And hang on, let me find a picture really quick. Excuse me. Should have had it queued up. There it is. Knit swirl. I'll just show you the one on the cover. If you want more information about it, I did talk about it and show like actual diagrams. It takes forever to pull up because it's a huge file here. Hold on. This is the style of cardigan it winds up being. So it's really a cool design. It's supposed to be flattering on any shape. It has a nice big shawl collar. It's just an open cardigan, which is perfect for Arizona. So originally when I first fell in love with this, I was like, I want to spin the yarn. I just started spinning. I'm like, I want to spin the yarn. But then I was terrified because I'm like, can I spin consistently enough to make that much yarn? You blah blah blah. So then when I dug it back out of my memories and decided that I would like to knit this one day, I decided that I would, in fact, spin the yarn for it. And I realized that my original idea was to use the wool from a sheep named Naomi. It's Jacob wool. In this light, you can it's difficult to see. It's a beautiful, dark, kind of chocolatey, brownish gray. I don't know, what color would you describe that as? Is it brown? Is it gray?
Dark brown,
It's
chocolatey.
It's like
brownish
a
gray.
brown-haired person who's getting gray hair.
So brownish gray. And I bought her in 2020, I bought all of the fleece of hers. It was processed, but it was her whole fleece.
So
Because her
would
name's
that
Naomi.
sheep have been that color? That browny color?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's her face. She has a white face. This is a picture of her. And her name's Naomi, and she has recently moved from Colorado further north. So Sonia used to get her wool, but that flock moved. I can't remember where they moved to. Or maybe they moved further south somewhere else that's warmer. I don't remember. But they're gone. So we can't get Naomi's wool anymore. So I am very glad that I bought all of her fleece that summer. I have 14 of these bumps. And actually I have one from 2019 because I was like, oh, it's my namesake. I have to buy it. So I only bought one in 2019. I'm kind of curious if there's a difference in color. So I have the one bag of like this from 2019, and then I have 14 of these. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to spin that, and I'm going to start spinning it this year. And then I also have 7 of these, and this is Cotswold. This is a beautiful light gray, and it spins like a dream. It wants to spin thin. It's just really nice. And I had already started a bobbin with one of these. So I have a total of 7 of these and 14 of these. And I thought to myself, I says, won't that make a nice like stripe?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could do like, I could figure out the math so that these sweaters are done in welts. So you knit 5 rows and then you purl 5 rows, and it makes a bumpy texture like that. Like if you saw the thing, it looks like stripes, but actually what it is a difference in how you knit it. So I thought to myself, I could do twice as many welts in the Jacob
Mm-hmm.
than I do in the Cotswold and have a patterned jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's a plan. So I have been spinning some, I decided to finish the bobbin I have of this to start with, and then start on the Jacob and just kind of go back and forth. And when the yarn's done, and I feel like it's all consistent, then I will make the jacket. So probably in 2026, you'll see a jacket. But no, I really am like, I want to be more consistent and spin more consistently. That's the only way I'm going to get better at it and make consistent yarn. So I have it set up in Hannah's room. It's kind of an early morning thing I like to do. So I want to be more consistent about it. Anyway, so those are my plans, and that's what I'm working on, and I am done. Before I move on, though, Eve, I know that your bag, the one I made you for Christmas that says create on it and has her name, the E fell off. And so here is see, it just says V. I don't know if you can see here. Let's see, in the light is a little weird. Hold it closer. The E fell off. It just says VE.
I re-ironed it, but
Yeah,
didn't
so
stay.
I was like, oh no, I don't have any more E's, but here's the E right here, and here's the little iron paper. You probably have to put a cloth over the paper too as well.
I have such a cloth.
Yes, I'm sure you do. So,
Thank you.
yeah, so you can have that. And, so what's been going on? Oh, Valentine's Day went on. And so my husband is so cool. He went on Etsy. This was my
I was
Valentine's
going to
Day
ask you
gift.
what that was.
Yeah. he went on Etsy and found a measuring tape from 1950 something. And it is so cool. You can, if you can, I don't know if you can see the printing on it. Now it says like, you have to do math in your head because it says 1 foot and then it just says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't like on the modern ones, it says 60, you know, 35, whatever. But it's 50 feet of tape. And then it has a little handle
To wind it.
up. Isn't that the coolest thing?
So neat.
And I'm like, and it says here on the side, right here, 50 feet. And I guess this is the brand name right here. UFKIN, made in USA. So yeah, it's just I love it. It's so unique and so cool. And
He always finds interesting
I
things.
know, he's the best gift giver. So anyway, so that's kind of cool. That was my Valentine. And I really like that. And then when I got this yarn, they sent a little card with it. And it says, "Happy day. Happiness is a bright and shining thing." It was just one of those little tiny cards. You know, those little postcards. I thought that was a neat touch. Came with my yarn. But
I have a thing. The other day I was at the store. I don't know what I was buying, where I was, but they had pop sockets, and you know, a lot of people have them on their phone. And on the phone I had before, I had a pop socket, and I got, you know, fairly addicted to it.
it helps hold your phone.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
good because you
And-
don't have to hold it. You just
Yeah,
put it
and
in your finger.
that's the problem I had when we went to Rob's graduation. I was trying to take a picture, and right then, I think Mark had been, I don't know, gone to the bathroom or something like that. So he came in to get back in, and so I stood up to let him in, and I had hold of my phone, and I already had the picture camera thing pulled up, and I guess as I let him in, I somehow touched it or something, so then it wouldn't go back to whatever, and so I missed, you know, I thought I had taken, you know, I was going to take pictures, and
All Mark's
I
fault.
missed it, yeah.
It's all Mark's fault.
So, but part of the issue is I don't have a pop socket on this one, but I bought a case for it that's really pretty. It has has a cat face on it.
Mhm.
But the problem is then where to put the pop socket.
Right.
It's like if I put it here, it covers the cat's face.
That's
but
why I
would
do
it
boring, clear.
You
But I don't put a pop socket because it doesn't fit in my it won't fit in my holder in my car anymore.
well, see,
She bought a pop
I
socket
bought-
holder.
yeah, I bought
I used to have one.
a charging holder for the car that is deliberately
It's not a charging holder,
I mean,
it's just a holder.
a holder for
Yeah, so I used to have one in my old car, like
Uh-huh.
that. But this car doesn't have a vent that will take it, and so I have to have a different kind of holder. It's stupid.
yeah. So I bought it because, you know, when I was riding around with Eve, when I was charging my phone, I didn't have a place to put it.
Right.
And so I saw the little holder thing at the store, and so, you know, it fits on the vent, and so I can stick
Yeah.
my phone up there, you know, while we're riding around. But then, of course, now I can't because I don't have a pop socket on this one. And so I'm like, but if I put it here, it covers the cat's face.
I know.
And if I put it down here,
You just
then-
got a boring black one?
Yeah, because
it'll go with it.
because and also
Why don't you take a picture of the kitty cat and print it out and stick it on there?
but so I'm like, no.
She asked us when she walked in. She's like, "Where should I put it?" I'm like, "I can't tell you."
Because
I cannot tell you.
I was afraid, like, if I put it, you know, like up above the cat's face or below the cat's face or whatever, then I
You
would
really
have
need
it.
it in the middle.
Yeah, it
Right
would
over
have to
the
be in
cat's
the middle.
face. So
So
I don't think
I'm
you could
just
use it if
saying.
you want to see the kitty.
yeah.
yeah,
So
I
Yeah.
think
I
she
don't know
should
what to
just
tell
get a different vent clip that she can put that
yeah.
phone in.
Or
without
but it
pop
does help when you hold it.
I know.
Especially
And
like
she-
it helps my hands. I miss
Yeah.
my pop socket, but I don't want it to take my phone out of
Funny
its
thing
case every
is
time I get
that
in the
it
car.
says, "Oh, you can easily take them on and off." No, you can't.
No.
Well, and I was looking at a thing, and it's like
Well, you
you're
can,
supposedly
but not every day.
can you know change the thing
Change the location.
because I have actually I don't know if I think I still have it. I found one that I had on an old phone that because I guess at the time I didn't understand it. Like, do you pry the sticky part of the phone, and I found it actually in the pocket of a jacket, that red jacket. And I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, look at that. It's because I had it's a black and white, like kind of marbly top. And I thought, well, that's kind of cute. And then I saw this in the store, and I just went ahead and picked it up.
Yeah.
And but then I have the one that I had on my phone before was a sea turtle, and then I had one that was an elephant. And so I'm like, I don't know what I want
that's
to
what
do.
happens when you buy a pretty case.
Yeah.
You gotta buy a boring case like mine, and then you do the fancy with your popsicle.
Yeah.
Cases are you can get another case.
Yeah.
I told her she could buy a plain case. It'd be easier to pop the phone in and out of a case than it would to be popping that off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
it was so funny this morning. We went to take my car, and on the way back, I told Mark I'm gonna go to the store, but I said grocery store like that. I'm gonna go to the grocery store, and Mark goes, what? He goes, the kind you find in the grocery store, and then he goes, raspberry puree. Puree. I'm like, that is why I married you, because you're so dang funny. It made me laugh so hard.
Well, this is like I always loved it that what was it the song you guys did with it's a VeggieTales song about the pirates who don't do anything.
Yeah.
We used to live in Boston in the fall.
I've never been to Boston in the fall.
I used to live in Boston in the fall.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was really funny. That's very clever.
Very, very clever.
So I basically did absolutely nothing this week. Now, that's not my normal week. Normally I'm sewing or, running around. And I mean, I took Beth to a couple of appointments, and I think I might have had one myself. But that's why I have so much stitching here.
Yeah.
Because I said, I just want to stitch. I don't want to go outside and take care of the weeds. I don't want to,
Yeah.
And I just gave myself permission to do absolutely nothing. And it felt so weird.
I've been so busy. I don't know what I did I was trying to think, what did I do this week? Because, okay, so Monday we had class, Tuesday we had orchestra, Wednesday was Valentine's Day. Oh, we went out to eat. We went to Texas Roadhouse, and it was very good. And then, and Thursday, I guess, I don't know what I did Thursday. Oh, I was going to go grocery shopping Thursday night, and I came home from work so tired, I couldn't see straight. But last night, we went to hear the Brentano String Quartet at ASU. And it was, as a musician, you get very kind of, I don't want to say, maybe cynical when you hear concerts. So it's very hard to break through that, kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
You get very judgy.
Critical.
Yeah.
But that concert was just life-changing. It was so amazing. And then we went backstage to say hello to them, and those people are the kindest and best of musicians. They're just, I can't say enough good things about them. If you ever have opportunity to hear the Brentano String Quartet in concert, you should go. Even if you're only mildly interested in classical music. It's just gorgeous, and they're just such good people. And you can look them up on Spotify too. They have lots of recordings. But it was so good. It was so good to see them and everything. And I don't know. It was such a good concert. They play together so well. Like there was one piece they played. It was a modern piece, but it was very, it was very beautiful. And there's this one part where like the violin comes in, the first violin comes in on one note, and then the second violin comes on the exact same note, and then the viola, and then the cello. And it was like, it was so perfect. The cellist was telling me later, it was really scary. But, you know, it's the other thing is that they talk about their own flaws. Like, they're like, wow, it was really hard, or that piece is so hard. The way you don't think of professionals, but they are so professional. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so humble. But it was, like, you can just, I told Hannah later, I was like, it was one instrument with 8 hands. It was just amazing. And anyway, I can't say enough good things. It was really nice.
Well, you know, I was gonna say when Yo-Yo Ma, famous cellist, came and we had him as a guest soloist with the Arkansas Symphony, you know, and I don't know if it was a special concert or whatever, because normally we don't, you know, wouldn't have hired, you know, somebody from that. There's different tiers of, you know, soloists. Like
everyone has
very,
their
level. Very expensive, very celebrity, you know, people that, you know, everybody, even people on the street have heard of. And then there's, you know, generally the musicians that only other musicians know their name or whatever. But anyway, so Yo-Yo Ma was playing with us. And what was really nice, I mean, he was such a normal, down-to-earth, personable guy. That, you know, he when we were rehearsing, you know, he would turn around and watch the orchestra, like so you know, and instead of just sort of ignoring us or whatever. And then he also like spoke to a bunch of students, and, you know, just like talking shop or whatever. And then the other thing he did was he, you know, let the cellists come and play his instrument and stuff like that. Wow. So it was just wonderful. And he was just a nice person. Yeah. You know, and it's very easy to sort of be intimidated or whatever by, you know, famous people or whatever. But it's nice to have
sometimes
them.
They deserve that because they're not nice.
Yeah. I know of, I'm not going to name his name, but he was a celebrity that came and played with us. And he was so rude and just like all the musicians were like, oh, I'm never going to play with him again. And, you know, and he was just like, and with the audience, he was kind of not I'm not going to say not self-deprecating, but he kind of made jokes about being in Little Rock as opposed to being in New York or whatever. Oh, but
thanks.
Yeah,
that's
nice. And so it was.
Well, you can go back.
Yeah, it was, you know, kind
without
of like,
your check.
It was kind of jokey about it, but in rehearsal he was so
you're
ugly.
Tell me who that is.
And so and you know, and the musicians are like, you know, who the hell are you? You know, you're not Mozart.
Yeah,
you know? And so. It was just an ugly experience, and then and Yo-Yo Ma was like 180 degrees different, you know. And
Johannes
so
Moser was like that with us. He's a cellist. He came and for his encore, well, you remember the whole cello section played an encore. They all played together. They rehearsed it like once during the day. It was gorgeous.
So
nice.
There's a story on Star Trek: Next Generation. That cast had become a close-knit group, and it was not well known, but it was known through the industry that all these guys liked each other. They'd go to each other's houses for, you know, barbecues and stuff like that. And Leonard Nimoy was going to do a guest spot on the show, and they sat the cast down and said, don't talk to him unless he talks to you, don't come and, you know, just leave him alone. And you know, gave him all these rules, right?
So they didn't want them to like fawn over him or freak out
or just try to chat, right? And so after a couple of days, he mentioned to, I believe it was Patrick Stewart, but I'm not positive, I had expected you guys to be more friendly because you guys are so close to each other. And it's like,
I don't have any friends.
You know, because he was expecting to come and join this group, right? And nobody would talk to him.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, I'm really sorry we were told to leave you alone. Yeah. And it reminded me of one of the Star Trek cruises I went on. Mona and I were sitting on deck chairs out on the deck. It was evening. There was nothing going on, and you know, we're just sitting out there enjoying the breeze and the evening. And Walter Koenig was looking over the bow.
The guy who played Chekhov.
Yeah, and so after a while, he's walking back to go inside, and he sees Mona and I sitting there. I have to say, Mona's really cute. Okay. But he comes and he just sits on one of our beach chairs and starts talking to us about, you know, problems he was having with his allergies, of all things. Right. And, but, you know, he just sat down and just started talking to us. Now, he was a Star Trek actor on a Star Trek cruise, so he knew that we would want to talk to him. But, you know, when people fawn over celebrities as if they're somehow special
and not humans,
they're just people with a job that you
Mm-hmm.
happen to notice. You know, there's a lot of special people walking around that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
You know, and
fame is a weird thing.
yeah,
It's a weird thing, and it I mean, usually it changes people, but you know, and it makes them also weird,
but not always.
not always, not
Yeah.
always. But you know, and with Brentano, you know, they're not living room famous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But among musicians, they really are, and they've been in movies. They played for the soundtrack of the movie A Late Quartet, and
Oh,
Nina
yeah, yeah.
was actually in the movie briefly at the end. It's a terrible movie, but I still like to watch it. But anyway, so it was great to see them.
Lately I've been my addiction has been like these, you know, first time viewing such and such movie, you know, and so like what was it? You know, like I've watched several people the first time they've seen the movie Psycho, or the first time they've seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
And you know, and I remember watching It's a Wonderful Life. Somebody was saying something. Is this a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I
It's not
remember you
Christmas.
said that.
Yeah, and so it's funny to like. I think, but like, it's like. I guess because they're mostly younger people because you know these are all old movies.
You're
or whatever.
old, Beth.
Yeah, and there was one was really funny. Was somebody was watching war games? They were watching war games.
Oh my gosh!
And talking about how
Would you like to play a game?
yeah, and I was yeah, and like somebody was saying they were saying
Thermonuclear. What is it? Thermonuclear.
Nuclear war. What is it?
I guess it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And global thermonuclear
Global.
war. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how she goes, oh, I didn't realize the floppy disk originally was like gigantic.
Or how about watching old movies like I was
and
watching
dial up, you know.
You know, I always like to watch Pretty in Pink and get mad about Ducky, but like Ducky deserved the girl. But you know, when she's in the library, I like it just cracks me up, like fake computer stuff. Before people knew what computers could do, they would make movies and they would make computers do stuff that they can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're sitting in the library and she's working on a computer in the library, and all of a sudden somebody starts chatting. But there's no program. There's no chat program. All of a sudden just somebody says, you know, hi, so and so, and then like, and she starts looking around. Oh, who's looking? And she's like, who is this? And you know, and so they're chatting back and forth, and then he sends her a picture of her that like, right? And then she's like, well, who is this? And it goes, you know, it's like this graphic thing that goes to the other side, and it's him. And I'm like, that is impossible. It makes me mad every time I watch it for 30 years now? 1985,
Yeah,
whatever.
but you know, on the opposite side of that is things like certain Star Trek shows, Star Trek movies, and not just Star Trek, other genres and stuff like that, where they have them, but usually it's science fiction because they're in the future. Okay. Has them doing something like on the very original Star Trek in the 60s when they were using the communicator.
Yeah. That
we use now.
As a
Yeah.
cell phone, yeah.
About the size that we use now.
Yep.
In Next Generation, and they push on the little thingy to be able to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Like
Eli
a
calls
watch.
me. Eli calls me in the grocery store, and I answer him on my watch, and we talk.
Right. And
I know it's
and
funny.
on Star Trek in the 60s, they used a little disc like this to put in for the computer.
Yeah.
And about the same size.
And the
as,
touch screens.
Yep.
All the you know.
When they say Minority Report, is a lot of stuff in Minority Report is coming true now.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that
Now we have driverless cars like in iRobot.
yeah, that's the difference between science fiction and fantasy.
Yeah.
They're, and so sometimes you think, so some guy looked at that and went, I know how to make that.
Yeah.
Or they asked a scientist, what do you think the computers in the future will be able to do?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a
I don't
video
know.
clip. I saw a video clip of somebody sitting next to one of those big mainframes from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And the interviewer is like, I brought my son here when he's and I can't remember the year he named, when he'll be like 20 or something like that. What do you think computers will be? And I think it was an author. And he's like, you'll be able to contact people through a computer, through a terminal in your own home, and you'll be able to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, so funny.
Well, some of that was,
his idea was that it would be
some
a terminal.
of that was foreshadowed
Yeah.
in the space program when they had to make computers small enough to get it on the module.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And even then, it was overwhelmed by the data that was coming in, and
Yeah.
so it quit working before they could just, land. But there are scientists who are trying to build future things, and I gotta feel like some of that's gonna end up in movies.
Yeah.
But it's funny when you see movies where, like the Terminator. It's supposed to take place at a certain time, and it was,
10 years ago.
Yeah. Or like Back to the Future.
Yeah, to see, but not every time, but often when I put something in a microwave, I think of that in Back to the Future, where they put in the little thing in the machine, and out pops a hot pizza.
Well, like that also in Star Trek, when the Yeoman Rand or whatever would come up with a little tablet thing for him to sign.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's
This little iPad. Yep. I know. Yeah.
I was gonna say that also somebody said once where they were talking about in the X-Files, that was one of the shows that really made use of the cell phone, right? Mulder and Scully were always calling each other on the cell phone, and that somebody was saying that without the cell phone, that show wouldn't have worked because they were always he's over here in this town and she's over here in that town or whatever, and
I like it when you see a movie that's supposed to be like very modern or whatever, and they pull out one of those big brick phones that's like this big.
Well, there was an episode of
you could only get those if you worked at Motorola.
Yeah, there was an episode of the X-Files where it was supposed to like take place, so many years ago, and so there's the lone gunmen who were like computer savvy guys, and they're all there with their computer things, and so Mulder when they meet Mulder for the first time. And he's talking to somebody on one of those big old giant phones,
Well, the first cell phone I had was one of those wedge-shaped ones.
Yeah.
With the little flip.
Yeah.
Thing for
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to buy a bigger purse because of that phone.
And now you have to buy a bigger purse because these things are so big.
Yeah,
Mark's in desperate need of a new phone, and he's like, I don't want a big phone. Like they're all big. And I'm just gonna
I remember
deal with it.
around the time. I think I don't know if it was. I had one of those little Nokia phones. It was teeny tiny.
Yeah.
It was not a flip phone, but it was little bitty like this. I remember seeing a lady. She had a little phone like that, and she would like hold it up to her ear to listen, and then she would hold it down here to talk because it was so tiny.
So
it was like, it can hear you.
Yeah, I love little phones.
Yeah, I do too. I love
my
those.
big phone. I love it.
But I remember, I think it was when I was going to replace that phone, and I had I don't remember if it was a Nokia or whatever, but it was a little bit bigger. But they had what some articles were calling phablets.
Yes.
So they were like bigger than this cell phone, but smaller than tablet. But
Right.
they were bigger, they were huge, and so they called them phablets.
Yeah.
Because they were like, and so I remember going in the phone store and like holding, this phone and this phone. It's like Goldilocks. It's too big. This is too little. This is just right.
Yeah. I like having a big phone. I like watching movies. I watch movies on my phone all the time. So
yeah, I like the slightly bigger phone because you can actually see,
yes,
the graphics or whatever.
If the phone doesn't fit in my pocket, I'm not buying it.
Well, there's that. No, that's fair.
That's true.
That's fair. Well, we've been chatting for quite a while, so we're gonna get ready to go. I'm gonna go to the yarn shop, I think, if I can make it in time. And I know you guys are going to the attic or something.
No.
Oh
No.
attic. I thought I heard you say that.
Just drugs. My dog's medicine.
legal drugs.
Legal.
Promise. I promise.
Allergy drugs.
Well, thanks for joining us this week in my house. And we will see you again next week. Same time, same station, same nonsense. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.